Hey, Omni Dogs and Omni Kittens, it's Omni Dog here with another root beer review. Today's root beer is the old favorite. I got a bunch of bottles for Christmas. It's Frost Top and it's delicious. I know some of you are frustrated that you can't find it near you. I apologize for that. Fortunately, my daughter has given me for Christmas Root Beer of the Month Club. So for 3 months, I'll be getting half a dozen bottles of different root beers, and maybe there's a root beer that's good near you. So that would be good. And I apologize that you can't find Frost Top. It's the only root beer I had in the house. I'll look for Boylan again because that seems to be widely available. Now, another problem people seem to have is that I recommend too many good books. They say Omnidog. No, they really do. I have had letters like this or comments where they say, you have too many good suggestions. I'm going broke here buying all these good books. That's kind of a good problem to have. It means there's a lot of good stuff out there, but it also means that people are buying too much. So here I am to do a service for you. There's an awful lot of hate on the internet, so I don't want to use that word just yet. I'm saving that for a special book. There's a lot of books I dislike, and I'm saving you the money by telling you about them so you don't have to go out and buy them. I spent the money so you don't have to. Well, what are some not very good books that you should save your money on? This one hurts because it's by one of my favorite writers, and I did a video on it, and it is just not very good. It's kind of a muddled mess. That's Veil by Greg Rucka. I love Greg Rucka. Greg Rucka can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned, except for this book. It's a muddled, gorky, nonsensical mess. I'll just read you what it says from the back. A beautiful woman wanders out of an abandoned subway tunnel with no memory of who she is or how she got there. Her name's Vale. Now Vale must figure out whom to trust and what she is. I like that he used whom. That's good. An object of desire or a force to be reckoned with as her past is revealed. This book just didn't do it for me, and I don't think it'll do it for you. The art was fine. Um, the art was fine, and there's probably a story in there somewhere that's good, but I just found it nonsensical, and it didn't go anywhere for me. And I really apologize to Greg Rucka if by some happenstance you find out that I didn't like your book. I swear it's the only book of yours I don't like. I love everything else by you, but this one I think you should save your money on. Don't buy it. It's called Veil. Don't spend your money on it. The next two books are from a guy who's very famous, very rich, and I think he may have gotten lucky. He has one book that I like a lot, another book that a lot of people like, but I haven't read, and then he just has sort of published a bunch of dreck. And that person is Robert Kirkman, the irredeemable Ant-Man, more like the unlikable Ant-Man. This book, I, ugh, not a good book at all. This may come as no surprise to some of you who've been reading comic books for a while, but this book is kind of famous for how bad it is. It is just it's irredeemable is what it is. It's just not it shouldn't even be allowed to have the name Irredeemable in it because of what a great book Mark Waid's Irredeemable is. But the Irredeemable Ant-Man by Robert Kirkman, save your money. Don't bother with this book. It is one of the worst books I've read, and I've read a bunch of bad books, but it's one of Marvel's worst. Um, I just, I didn't dig this. I don't think a lot of people dug it. And save your money. Don't get Robert Kirkman's Ant-Man. The world's most unlikable superhero, the world's most unlikable book. So, unfortunately, he's written another one that I didn't dig. A lot of people do like this book. I do not, and I think you should save your money because it breaks no new ground, doesn't tell us anything interesting, goes in no new directions, and it doesn't evolve the genre at all. If that sentence is proper, doesn't evolve the genre. It doesn't push the genre forward. Doesn't do anything with the genre. Genre. That book is Outcast. I know a lot of people really dug this book. I guess it's being made into a TV show, or it's already a TV show, about an exorcist guy. Let's see. Kyle Barnes has been plagued by demonic possession all his life, and now he needs answers. Unfortunately, what he uncovers along the way could bring about the end of life on Earth as we know it. Yeah, by being bored. Um, this deals with exorcism and demonic possession, and which sounds really good. I love demonic possession. I love demons. I love magic. I love the supernatural. But this book didn't go anywhere. It broke no new ground, as I said. It's really not worth your money. It's a $40 book in hardcover. I'm probably going to give this thing away. I didn't even like it. I won't give it to the library because I don't want anybody checking books out to think that, you know, that's what comic books are about. Boring. The boring library. Maybe if I can find a boring library, I'll donate it to it. But no, Outcast, save your money. Don't go out and buy this book. Don't even rent it. Don't go to the library. Don't go to Hoopla. Don't even borrow it from a friend. Time is too short on this earth. Don't waste an hour on this. Outcast, nigga. Nothing against you, Robert Kirkman. Sure, you're probably a nice guy. I have no idea. I actually don't care. Next book by an author or writer that I really like a lot of his work. Now, a lot of people feel he's hit or miss on a lot of things. I get that. I like the majority of his stuff. I liked the first Kick Ass by Mark Miller and JR. But this book, Kick Ass 2, whew, stink-a-rooney. Not into it at all. This hardcover cost 25 bucks. Save that 25 bucks. Go out, get some ice cream, get some other hardcovers, get a root beer float. Do anything with that money except get this book. Because where Kick Ass 1 succeeded in being a fresh, original concept with Big Daddy and Hit Girl, and so interesting about regular citizens taking back the night, so to speak. This thing is just a brutal, savage, awful, raw, just not fun experience. I mean, it's got a rape scene, a gang rape scene in it, where the bad guys take out this guy's crush. It's not his girlfriend, it's a girl he has a crush on to get back at him, kind of a revenge thing, and it's really off-putting and brutal. It's got just mayhem for the sake of mayhem that doesn't move the story forward at all. Just a bunch of a raw brutality where that kind of stuff was interesting and really fresh and kind of expanded the boundaries of comic books in Kick-Ass 1. Kick-Ass 2 takes all that promise and flushes it down the sewer. Do not buy Kick-Ass 2. There could even be a Kick-Ass 3. I don't know. I'm not even going to venture forth and try and find it. I like a lot of Mark Miller's stuff. I really do. And I guess Netflix does too, because maybe it was Netflix that just gave him $10 billion to buy the rights to his stuff. So we're going to see a lot of his stuff produced with some streaming channel. But no, save your money, get root beer floats and other comics. Don't get Kick-Ass 2. This next book will come as no surprise to anybody that has seen any of my videos. You know I have a bug up my nose about this book and this writer. Don't necessarily have a problem with him as an illustrator, but this illustrator should not quit his day job as an illustrator. He was a great artist back in the 70s and 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s. He's kind of lost his chops a little bit drawing. That happens. Guys get older. But there's one thing this artist has never been able to do, and that is write. Batman Odyssey. I bought this book used because I had already gotten rid of the Batman Omnibus that was so poorly re-inked and recolored. So I had to buy this used for purposes of this video, so I hope you appreciate it, because cover price is $30 on this. That's not what I paid. I paid like $8 on it used. I don't even know where to start with this book. This book takes Batman and is a completely tone deaf approach to him. Batman, Robin, Superman, Ra's al Ghul. The art's pretty to look at, but it's a crazy story that makes zero sense. I understand that we're in the world of comic books and you have to suspend your disbelief. But when you start talking, when you throw everybody in, there's Deadman. When you throw everybody in there and you advance your hollow earth theory, yeah, he thinks the earth is hollow. Whatever. Some people believe in the Easter Bunny. That's cool. I'm not going to hold it against you. But when there's a whole race of creatures in the Hollow Earth, including an Hollow Earth Batman and Robin with dinosaurs flying around or something. What the hell? This book made zero sense, and I was really kind of angry when I got done with it. I'm kind of angry at DC for giving him the platform to write because it makes him think he can write, and so he's going to keep writing. Stop him before he writes again. I mean, this is not worth the paper it is printed on. It's actually printed on very nice glossy paper. Um, but it is a revolting mess that goes nowhere, ridiculous premise, and I highly dislike this book. Please don't get Batman Odyssey. Don't waste your money on it. It is truly a god awful, wretched mess. So then we have another Batman book. The next books are all Batman because a lot of books are written about Batman, so he's going to appear on some bad book lists. This next one may be a little controversial because I think people like it. I did not. So I urge you to not buy it, maybe borrow it first. Go to your library. It might be in your library. It won't be in my library because I ain't donating it into my library. But get an issue on Comixology or something to see what you think. Batman Noel. Trite, cliched, boring, goes nowhere, faulty premise. Um, I get that it's a metaphor on Christmas Carol by Dickens, Charles Dickens. I get it, and it just feels really forced. And the art it's very nice, but the panels are confusing and a mishmash. And I found it almost laughably cliched. Uses every trope in the book. Um, I I don't know. This was not my cup of tea. Some people like this book. I urge you, don't spend your money on it. This book cover price $23. Well, $23. Hey, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of fun you can have at the arcade or renting movies, going to a movie, doing anything but reading this book. Batman Noel, not a fan. Now, the last two books. This is where I break out the big guns. This is where I break the glass on the wall, pull it down, and yell, hate. I hate these next two books. These books are embarrassing. These books I would not donate to the library. I would not give them to a friend. I would not give them to a child. I'm going to subject them to the ultimate embarrassment, as a matter of fact, because these books are awful. They are terrible. They are poorly written. Poorly written by someone who should know better. Kevin Smith, Batman Cacophony and the Widening Gyre. Not only is this book way behind schedule, I don't know, they've been waiting for the sequel to Widening Gyre for, when did this thing get published? 2010. We're in the year 2018. What's the holdup? Actually, I don't care because I'm not reading it when it comes out. I hate this book. I hate everything about it. I'm sorry to use the word hate because so many people on the internet hate so many things, but this book is terrible. It's tone deaf. It has Batman doing stuff that Batman would never do. And I'm not saying it like I'm the gatekeeper of Batman, like I'm some expert on Batman, but I've read enough Batman in my life to know how the Caped Crusader reacts in certain situations. And he's not letting some strange superhero off the streets into the Batcave. It's just not going to happen. And then they become a team and buddy buddy and they're yucking it up. What the hell? Whose Batman is this? Kevin Smith, you should know better. I mean, come on. The art's serviceable. It's by his childhood buddy from Comic Book Men, Walt Flanagan. I got nothing against the guy. Um, I'm just saying, Cacophony and Widening Gyre, not worth a dime. You shouldn't even get somebody to pay you to read it. Don't accept money to read this book. Don't do anything. If you see it in a comic book store, walk away. There should be an area around it like there is for safety zones at school where no drugs are allowed and no guns are allowed. No people should be allowed near these books. Truly horrendous books. And so, since they are so tone deaf, since they talk about Batman in a way that none of us grew up reading him to be like, or if we started as adults, you read two Batman books and you'll look at these and say, who the hell's this? This isn't Batman. And I don't even care that he wet himself when he went into a fire to save somebody. Apparently that happens to firefighters a lot. It's an autonomic response. Hey, okay, fine. But he's not letting some stranger into the Batcave and he's not doing a bunch of other dorky stuff with Batman. This is truly a repellent book. And as such, I would not recommend it to anybody. Some people get upset when I do this because they say, you could have donated that book. No, I don't want anybody to know this was a comic book. They'll think we're all lunatics. So I'm bringing out the bucket of shame. I'm sticking these books in it. And I'm dumping root beer on them. Crappy diet A&W root beer on these books. I want to make it so nobody can read these books and be tempted by the crappiest comic book ever written. This isn't even crappy like Tommy Wiseau's The Room movie, where you go back and laugh and have fun at it. No, this is just making me angry. So I'm pouring a ton of root beer on it. I want to make sure I don't get root beer on my nice computer, which I've already spilled Coke on. Truly an awful experience. So now here we got the soaked Cacophony and the soaked Widening Gyre. Don't spend your money. Don't go near them. Run away. So there you go. This is part 1. Part 2 will include what some of my friends consider to be books you should not spend your money on. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. I always respond to comments, good or bad. Hey, it happens. So thanks for watching, and I'll be right back with part 2.